if I just have a little bit of weird purple on my face sometimes, we will survive it, actually. We will survive it. Hi guys, welcome back to Abigail's Bookshelf. Today we are going to be talking about Florence and the Machine. So happy Florence and the Machine Day to all who celebrate. Everybody Screams is out now. Go stream it 1,000,000 times. And also happy Halloween. So that's fun. Happy Halloween, happy Florence Day. Today we're going to talk about my 5 favorite Florence and the Machine songs, and I'm going to give you a book recommendation for each song on the list. Now I have to think of an intro. Hi guys, welcome to my channel. This is Abigail's Bookshelf, where I will just do book reviews, and it won't be anything more complicated than that. So obviously I'm filming this well before the album goes out. So I have not heard anything except for the 2 singles, Everybody Scream and One of the Greats. No notes. Hey, no notes. So I'm very excited for the album, but I have not listened to it yet. So today we're going to do sort of backlog my 5 favorite Florence and the Machine songs and book recommendations. And this is probably like one of the harder things I've ever done. I think it was easier to pick my 30 favorite books than to pick 5 favorite Florence and the Machine songs. I originally did 10, but I was like, that's too many, girl. So we're doing 5. If you want more in the future, I can give you more in the future. But these are my 5 favorites, painstakingly chosen. I would rather have pulled my own teeth out. So here we go. Let's get into it. So let's start at 5. Queen of Peace. This song was originally, I believe, on the Snow White and the Huntsman soundtrack. I did not look up what year that came out because I don't want to know. What I do know is I saw it probably in high school, and it changed things for me in a big way. And not the least of those was Charlize Theron in that movie. Oh my God. Girls, Charlize Theron in that movie? You're joking me, actually. You're actually joking me. She looked, wow. Wow. And then Kristen Stewart in armor. The call was coming from inside the house. I was not picking up. So Queen of Peace. Love that song. For Queen of Peace, I picked The 5th Season by Nghi Jemisin. In particular, these lines are the ones that really made me think of Cyanite from 5th Season, and also a little bit of Essen, but mostly Cyanite's story in the first book of the Broken Earth trilogy, The 5th Season. So basically, it's a climate disaster fantasy. Has not been done before, will never be done since, in my personal opinion. Basically, it is this fantasy world where the world and the environment and the climate has been hugely disrupted by an earthquake. And this entire fantasy system revolves around geology and the movement of the plates and tectonics. And it's so interesting. I've never read anything like it. I've never read anything like it since. I think she just really, it's such an inventive fantasy system. And Cyanite is it's been a while since I've read these, so I don't really remember what they are called. Forgive me. Basically, she is an earth mage. She can sense the energy building up under the surface of the earth and divert it away to keep the earthquakes from, destroying the world. Because these are earthquakes on a level never before seen. So Cyanite is a young mage. She's very talented. She's very hungry. She gets paired up with this other mage that is a little weird, but hugely respected in the community called Alabaster. And their story is them kind of traveling across the planet, or the continent, I guess, trying to figure out how to keep these huge disasters from happening. And in particular, the lines from Queen of Peace that I am thinking about are from the chorus. So, like the stars chase the sun over the glowing hill, I will conquer. Blood is running deep. Some things never sleep. And to me, that line just perfectly captures Cyanite's anxiety and her fears and her just emotional turmoil of the pressure of her job and how important it is that she protects everyone in the world, from certain death. And then, oh, the Queen of Peace always does her best to please. Is it any use? Somebody's gotta lose. Damn, Florence was really, she just is really on something. But again, Cyanide's story, she's fighting so hard to be what she has to be, the kind of person she has to be. It's a very dark and gritty world. There are some really messed up things going on, and she has to deal with all of this. Just like, it's like so dramatic. And she's also going through other things I won't spoil. That book, like, I am scared to talk about it at any point because I don't want to spoil it. Reading it for the first time was one of the most insane experiences of my life. I almost don't want to read it again because I know it won't live up to that. But then I'm also like, but I would get to see like how she was laying the groundwork for what she was going to do. So I will be reading it again in the future. But it's one of those that, like, if you get spoiled, it just, oh, that sucks. That sucks. So I'm not going to spoil it. And the last line that I want to mention from Queen of Peace: all my love is no good against the fortress that it made of you. Whoa. Guys, what is she on? And how do I get on it? Yeah, I think this last line is probably more of an Essen's storyline. So Essen's story is that she also is an earth mage, but her story is more about her husband decides to kill her son and run off with her daughter. And so she's trying to find him. And her story is just so intense. And she has to like come to terms with a lot about who she is and what she wants for herself and who these people that she loves are and who people in general are. Again, not spoiling it, but something happens in the world that makes it a lot more of a hostile place. And there just is so much like relationship turmoil, and that all my love is no good against the fortress that it made of you. Woof. So good. That's number 5, Queen of Peace. My book recommendation, if you love that song, is The Fifth Season by N.K. Jemisin. Next on the list, What the Water Gave Me by Florence and the Machine. And for this one, I'm cheating a little bit because I'm giving you a recommendation that Florence Welch has already given you, which is Our Wives Under the Sea. Wow, Our Wives Under the Sea. Beautiful, weird little book. I read it this past month, so it will be in my October recap that is coming out in a couple of weeks, and I'll give you like the full rundown. But essentially the story here is there is this couple, Muir and Leah. Leah is a marine biologist, and she regularly goes on deep sea missions, and she goes on one submarine mission and came back wrong is one of my favorite tropes ever. I wish there were more of them. If you have recommendations for came back wrong, put them in my comments right now. Love them. This one, I don't think if I read it 1,000 times, I would actually understand what the hell happened. But it was so good. It was so delicious. The writing was so good. The relationship between these two women was really beautiful. Muir, like, trying to come to terms with like how strange her wife has become, and like, is it the same person? It's about grief, it's about loss, it's about like, I mean, every book is kind of about personal development, but it's just, it's beautiful. So you have the modern story of Leah, and Leah's returned home. Muir is trying to figure out what the hell's wrong with her and what she's supposed to do about it. And then there are also chapters from Leah's perspective of her down in the submarine. So you kind of figure out like what the hell happened to her. Beautiful, haunting, so good. So good. So lyrics for this one: time goes quicker between the two of us, but oh my love, don't forsake me. Take what the water gave me. I don't know if Julia Armfield was aware of this song when she wrote this novel, if this was like a big inspiration for her, but like that line is exactly what this book is about. It exactly is what this book is about. Oh my love, don't forsake me. Take what the water gave me. Because the water gave her something, girl. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. And then second line, again, I am a Julia Armfield wrote this book based on this song, Truther. Next lyric: because they took your loved ones, but returned them in exchange for you. But would you have it any other way? Came back wrong, girl. Came back wrong. And was it worth coming back? Oh, God, it's so good. It's so good. Read this book. Listen to this song till you throw up. That's my recommendation for What the Water Gave Me by Florence and the Machine, Our Wives Under the Sea by Julia Armfield. So the next three is where it starts to get a little dicey, because choosing between these three songs is like choosing between my limbs. Oh, this is hard. Okay. I'm going to choose, next up, is going to be Howl. Howl by Florence and the Machine, book recommendation, When the Tiger Came Down the Mountain by Nevo. Nevo, I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you do it, but you do, and thank God. So When the Tiger Came Down the Mountain is book 2 in the Singing Hills cycle by Nevo. This is a series of novellas. They are actually probably what got me into reading novellas in the first place. And by the way, these books do not have to be read in order. So if this book sounds good to you and you want to read it, you can just go read it. You don't have to read the others in order. Essentially, the premise of the Singing Hills cycle is there is a young cleric named Nghi who spends their time roving around this fantasy country collecting stories. They are like essentially kind of like a memory keeper. They're a monkish kind of figure that travels around, collects these stories. And in this particular story, Nghi finds themselves up in the tundra, I guess. I would say it's kind of like based off of maybe like a fantasy Mongolia. This particular book, others are based on kind of different spaces, but I think if I remember correctly, this one was kind of tundra-esque. And she's traveling with a mammoth herder to kind of cross this mountain pass, and they get waylaid by weather and bloodthirsty tiger girls. Bloodthirsty tiger girls. And so these tigers trap Nghi and the mammoth driver, whose name I've forgotten but shows up in several books, forgive me, and the mammoth in this sort of like shed. And the storm is raging and these tigers are hungry, and Nghi basically saves their lives by convincing these tigers to tell them stories. And the story that this novella centers around is about Scholar Dio and Ho Te Tao, who is the baddest bitch that ever lived and the baddest bitch that ever will live. She's a tiger shapeshifter, and she is just a bloodthirsty murdering machine. However, she meets Scholar Dio. It's almost kind of like, what is that Arabian Nights story about the king who like kills all of his wives? 1001 Nights, I think. If I'm wrong, cut that out. So basically, Scholar Dio develops this like really tense relationship with Ho Te Tao, and oh, it's so good. It's so good. It's so good. So the lyrics from Howl that go with this book: screaming in the dark, I howl when we're apart, drag my teeth across your chest to taste your beating heart. There's something about cannibalism as like queer love that I'm really getting into recently. It's very vampiric, I think. But this idea of like, I love you so much, I want to eat you whole. I'm into that right now. And obviously, it's a tongue twister. Ho Te Tao is a man-eating tiger half of her time. So obviously she just like also just like naturally animalistically wants to eat Scholar Dio, but she doesn't, and that's beautiful. I love that. That's so beautiful. So next line, I hunt for you with bloodied feet across the hollowed ground. No spoilers, but they do get separated at one point, because I mean, you can't really blame the scholar for being like, hey, this was fun. You're a tiger in bed. However, I'm scared you're gonna eat me, so I'm gonna go. Thank you, love you, gotta go. So there is like kind of that kind of element, and Ho Te Tao is like not interested at all in being left behind. And then, which goes into the next line, be careful of the curse that falls on young lovers, starts so soft and sweet, and turns them to hunters. That is this novella. This is such a good novella. Highly recommend anything from Singing Hills cycle if you've never read them. They're just, they're so good. They're so good. Every story is a little bit different. Every story is in kind of a different region. So it's really fun. World building is really fun. Kind of like learning about creating all of these like diverse cultures and these diverse like almost like fairy tale stories, folk stories. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Cleric Chi, I believe, is in all of them and is kind of like the thread that kind of ties them all together. But again, you don't have to read them in order. You're going to want to read all of them, but you don't have to read them in order. So that's for Howl by Florence and the Machine. When the Tiger Came Down the Mountain by Nevo. Beautiful, 10 out of 10. Next, number 2, Heavy in Your Arms. I love that fucking song. And the book recommendation is Vicious by V.E. Schwab. Yeah, it is. If you're unfamiliar with Vicious, I don't blame you because those are probably the least popular of V.E. Schwab's work. However, get into Vicious by V.E. Schwab. She's currently working on the 3rd and final installment. For those of us who have been waiting for, I read this book for the first time in 2015. The sequel came out 2019 maybe. It was like a good 4 or 5 years. It may have actually even been later than that. It may have been closer to 2022. I can't remember if it was pre-pandemic or post-pandemic. I feel like it was long enough ago to be pre, but also the pandemic was 5 years ago, so it could totally be post. Anyway, sequel came out, but I'm not talking about the sequel, Vengeful. I'm talking about Vicious by V.E. Schwab, the first book in the villain cycle. Oof. If you're unfamiliar, this is a story of a superhero and his arch nemesis, a super villain. Read the book and you tell me which one's which, girl. You tell me which one you think is the hero and which one you think is the villain. Talk about morally gray. So this story is about Eli Ever and Victor Vale. It so perfectly captures like the superhero-ness of like the double letter names. Anyway, Victor and Eli are in college together, and Eli is interested in learning about superpowers. And I believe in the world there is like, it's kind of like ghosts. Like they're like, okay, well, maybe there are superpowers, but probably there are not. But Eli is like convinced. He's like, there are superpowers and I can give myself superpowers and become a superhero. And Victor is like, I love whatever's wrong with you. I'll help you. And they're just the two most fucked up boys that have ever existed. And they become BFFs. And in pursuit of finding out if they can give each other superpowers, spoiler alert, they can. They absolutely can. But what I love about this series is the tension between Eli and Victor. They are so opposite, but also not. Like, they're both like obsessive psychopaths, and they both are interested in if I can do something and not should I do something, which great. And just as the books progress, their I love you, but I have to destroy you energy, it's unmatched. And like, not to put any more pressure on Victoria Schwab, who's really putting herself through the ringer with writing this 3rd book. I want them to kiss so bad. Please let them kiss me. Please. They need to kiss. I think, hey, I'm not sure gay sex would help, but it's worth trying at this point. Let's just try. Let's see what happens. Maybe love can heal what war forged, you know? Maybe so. So the lyrics for this song: I was a heavy heart to carry, my beloved was weighed down, my arms around his neck, my fingers laced a crown. Because there is no Eli Ever without Victor Vale, and there is no Victor Vale without Eli Ever. And their love for each other is so consuming and so toxic and so laced with hate that like it is a burden for them. Like they exist because the other one exists, and they are important and powerful because the other one is important and powerful. And that just like dichotomy, it's so fucking delicious. Next lyric: he took me to the river where he slowly let me drown. No spoilers, but if you know, you know. If you know, you know. Next line: this will be my last confession. I just gave myself chills. This will be my last confession. I love you never felt like any blessing. Whisper it like it's a secret, only to condemn the one who hears it with a heavy heart. What is she on? Oh, wow. Wow. So that's Victor and Eli to me. That is Victor and Eli to me. And final line. This line always gives me chills every time I listen to the song. I was a heavy heart to carry, but he never let me down. When he held me in his arms, my feet never touched the ground. Guys, what the fuck? Guys, what the fuck? That's crazy. And I think like what this song really captures about this book is like both of them, while like on the surface, they are each other's worst enemy, really and deeply and profoundly, Victor is Victor's worst enemy and Eli is Eli's worst enemy. And that sort of self-hatred, but also self-obsession can be such a burden. Like the burden of thinking about yourself all the time and worrying about yourself all the time and thinking there's something wrong with you all the time and thinking that you have this burden to either protect the world from yourself or to protect yourself from the world or to like Eli has like a really complicated philosophy and I can't really like get into it all here, but like this song I think really captures how he sees himself as the sort of figure that is supposed to save everyone, but really is the thing that everyone needs to be saved from. And the further he goes in his sort of journey, he realizes more and more of that. And Victor, who has seen this the whole time, also has to kind of grapple with that. And it's, you know? So that's my number 2 favorite Florence and the Machine song, Heavy in Your Arms, book recommendation, Vicious by V.E. Schwab. And by the way, in this ranking, I need to make it extremely clear that King does not count. In the way that you wouldn't ask a Christian what their favorite book is and be mad if they didn't say the Bible, I'm not going to say King is my favorite because like obviously it is. Like that song actually is my whole entire life and my entire person and everything about me. But for the sake of the video, it's not included here because I honestly don't think I could pick a book. Like it would be so hard to think of a book that fit. So honorable mention, King by Florence and the Machine is my favorite Florence and the Machine song. I think about it always because I love being predictable. I'm going to tell you the name of the song and I'm going to give you 3 seconds to guess what book you think I'm going to recommend, and I'm almost 100% certain you're going to be right. Number 1 song for the sake of this list is Big God by Florence and the Machine. And I'm going to give you 3 seconds to guess which book I am going to say fits Big God. Yeah, it's Harrow. Yeah, it's Harrow the Ninth. Yeah, it's Harrow the Ninth. And video's done. Sorry if that wasn't. I'm just kidding. I'm going to talk about Harrow the Ninth and Big God. Love this album. Probably my favorite Florence and the Machine album. Again, like picking limbs. But Big God's book recommendation is Harrow the Ninth by Tamsyn Muir because obviously it is. Yeah. So Harrow the Ninth, if you're unfamiliar, second book in the Locked Tomb series by Tamsyn Muir, follows Harrow in the aftermath of everything that happens in Gideon the Ninth. So this is going to be challenge level impossible for me to not give spoilers because very much like the 5th season, The Locked Tomb is a series that I never want to talk about plot and character because I can't bear the idea of spoiling that for someone. Like, that actually makes me sick to my stomach. I would fast for 17 days if I believed that I had spoiled this book for anyone. When I got my best friend, editor Amy, to read this book, the way I was fighting for my life because she was live texting me and telling me what was happening, and the way I was fighting for my life not to say anything. I did one time make a joke, but she didn't notice it until after, and then it was funny for both of us. But again, a series, I can't spoil it for you. I really can't. But basically, for the initiated, I'm going to give the lyrics and some kind of idea of what I'm talking about without spoiling anything. So the line, "You need a big God, big enough to hold your love." And if you aren't immediately thinking about the very end of Gideon the Ninth, when Harrow says to Jod, the Emperor Undying, "But your God," and he says, "And it isn't enough." Oh, full body chills. Full body chills. I have full body all the way down my arms, all the way down my legs, in my blood. I'm shivering. You're God, and it isn't enough. Oh my God. Okay, so that is exactly, that is what Harrow of the Ninth is about. It is about that conversation, and it is about that line in the Florence and the Machine song. And then next line, I still like you the most. You'll always be my favorite ghost. No, I'm actually gonna cry. No, I'm actually gonna cry. Oh my God. So Harrow the Ninth is a book about faith and about belief and about haunting. It's a book about a haunting. And so Gideon the Ninth is about a haunted house, and Harrow the Ninth is about a haunted person. And again, I'm not going to give you spoilers, but you'll always be my favorite ghost. The way that Tamsyn Muir does ghosts and haunting in these books is actually the most fucked up thing ever in the history of the world. And oh my God. Oh God. It just, I know that this is mostly incoherent to you if you've never read these books, and maybe kind of incoherent to you if you have read these books. But before long, I'm going to do a fully unhinged recap of everything that happens in all of those books, partly because I need to talk about it, partly because I need someone else to talk to me back about it, so the comments, you better be in them, but also because God willing, whoever is willing, Ianthe Tridentarius willing, we will get an Alecto the Ninth or another book in the Locked Tomb series in 2026. And so I want to make those videos so that people who have read them can catch up. Freaks who never want to read them but have FOMO can find out what's happening. Again, I think that's a bad choice for you. If you've never read them, you need to read them first. But that's coming, and all of this will be made clear to you, dear sweet summer child. I still like you the most. You'll always be my favorite ghost. Yeah, that is exactly everything about Harrow the Ninth that you need to know. And finally, this whole song, I want to scream it from a mountaintop. Though I know I should know better, well, I can make this work. Is it just part of the process? Jesus Christ, it hurts. Yeah. And it sure does. Because the first time you read Harrow the Ninth, you are going to be so lost in a miasma of confusion and what book am I reading? Did I hallucinate Gideon the Ninth? Am I hallucinating this? What the fuck is going on? And then, Jesus Christ, it hurts. She tells you what's going on. And it's the worst thing that she could have told you. And you'll wish you didn't know. And it hurts. And it hurts. It is part of the process, but Jesus Christ, it hurts. And God, it's so good. Please read this book series if you have not. Big God, my number one Florence and the Machine song is Harrow the Ninth by Tamsyn Muir. And there you have it. Those are my favorite Florence and the Machine songs. Happy Florence Day to all who celebrate. Happy Halloween. Bye. Sorry if that was incoherent.